Today we're gonna make the best creme brulee recipe. It's a silky custard on the inside that isn't too eggy with a beautiful thick layer of caramelized sugar on the top. It's to die for. If you're enjoying this video, please be sure to hit the subscribe button below and then click the bell icon so that you get notified every time I post a new and delicious recipe. So in a pot, we are gonna put heavy cream. So in our pot, we've got our heavy cream and we are going to put a spent vanilla bean pod. Now, if you have a vanilla bean, you can use, a half of a vanilla bean, you can put in there. I already had some split vanilla beans that have been scraped already from things like, pudding or, kind of desserts like that. And then I'm gonna pop that on the heat and go ahead and bring that just to a boil. Like, not a rolling boil, like just a boil. So meanwhile, in my bowl here, I'm going to get myself a whisk. I have an egg, and I'm gonna add a yolk. Boop. And I'm gonna go ahead and give that a little whisk right here. Just a little whisk, just to kind of get them together, incorporate them. And now we are gonna add our sugar. Now I've got just regular granulated sugar here. Go ahead and whisk that in. And I'm gonna add just a little bit of salt. And then we wait. So now all we have to do is wait for our cream to come to a boil, and we'll put that in. Okay, so there are bubbles starting to form on the outside, and I'm just waiting to see, kind of a bubble pop in the middle. And we're gonna take that off immediately once it's boiling, and then we are going to temper it slowly into our eggs. Move so you can see me. You see how we're doing this slowly. We are not overwhelming them. We are trying to cook them gently, lovingly. Just let your vanilla beans fall. No big deal. And that's that. Now I'm gonna add my vanilla. I don't like to boil my vanilla. It does change the flavor, it kind of dampens it, so get that in there right now. Maybe give it a whisk. Okay, and this is our creme brulee base. Super fast, super easy. The only thing that I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna skim off the foam because I don't want foam on the top of my ramekins. You can do this with a piece of plastic wrap. You can pull the plastic off and most of them will come off, or you can just kind of gently do it with a spoon, which is what we are gonna do right now. But you see all that foam? We don't want that. No, that is not what we want. That's how you get that weird kind of, texture on top of your creme brulee, is the foam. Do you have to do this? No. Cool. And now we've done that. And we're going to transfer this to a vessel that will be easier to pour, okay? You can use a liquid measuring cup, whatever you want. Mine is dirty because we just used it. So, get that in there. All right, so we've got our vessel here. This makes 6, but I only have 5 ramekins because there was a tragedy. You can use any shape ramekin that you want. You can use this size, you can use a big one, you can use a small flat one, but really all that matters is that you want to check and make sure that it is done. So I'll show you how to do that, and that is really the key here. It's not about the specific ramekin, it's about the doneness. So go ahead and, I like to fill these up to like that second lip at the bottom. It's about the same amount as, one of those kind of, flat, fluted ones. Last one, best one. I filled these a little higher than I would normally do so because, well, I'm trying to make them fit into a 5, but you don't have to do that. If you are a perfectionist, who's that? Then you can hit these little remaining bubbles with a blowtorch. If you have a ton of bubbles, like you didn't do that, then this is not gonna work and it's going to create a weird texture on the surface anyway. But if you only have like a few big ones, here for it. Hit your torch, kind of lowish, and then you're just gonna kind of like boop, boop, boop. Do you see how that pops them? I know. What is happening? What? Is it magic? Is it science? It's baking, peeps. All right. And there we have that. I like to fill, we're gonna fill this about halfway up with hot water. I like to fill it while it is in the oven because I don't wanna transfer it and then get water all up over the place. I'm gonna do that in the oven. But for right now, it's kind of a large situation that I have here. All right, so we're gonna cover this, and I'm just gonna leave one little side open so that I can see what I'm doing. I can see the level when I pour the water in. Go ahead and give yourself a cover here. This keeps the top from browning. It helps them, basically they're gonna steam in there. And that is what we want. All right, so you see I'm just gonna make a little peephole right there, and I can see the corner of my ramekin. And I'm gonna put this in the oven, and then I'm gonna fill it up. And I will show you because I'm kind. Anyways, be careful. Just to like halfway. Really depends, how much really depends on your particular oven, your pan that you're using or whatever. And then we're just going to cinch this down. Yep. Like a so. And push it in gently, lovingly, with care. All right, so carefully take off the aluminum foil. I ended up actually turning my oven up to 325 degrees just because they were not baking. So I turned it up and then they baked about 30 minutes at 325. But if you're baking them a little hotter, you do want to make sure that they have enough water in there so that they don't overcook. Now, normally I would do this in the oven, but I just brought it here just to show you exactly what I would do. If you, the way you tell that they're done, you kind of take them and you jiggle them. You see how it looks set. It doesn't look liquid and flowy. It just kind of like jiggles a little bit like that, but kind of cohesive. So that's when you know that they're done. So I'm going to take them out using tongs. You can also take them out using any other contraption, spatula or something like that. That can be kind of difficult, but with these you want to be very careful that you don't drop them back in the water and then splash yourself with hot water. So just know the dangers. All right, so our creme brulees are obviously cooked, but they need to cool. So I like to cool them down slowly. I like to cool them down completely at room temperature, and then I put them in the refrigerator for 2 hours at least. Usually overnight. They definitely set firmer overnight. And so I am going to, I'm gonna let these cool completely at room temperature, and then I'm gonna pop them in the fridge. Well, I'm gonna cover them, and then I'm gonna pop them in the fridge overnight, and then I'll show you tomorrow. All right, come on, little guys. The moment we've all been waiting for. It's brulee time. Yes, it's the most exciting part about this, no? Okay, so this is super easy, right? All we're gonna do is, I like to use a spoon and then to kind of like guide the application, right? So you're gonna kind of like put it on there. You want it to be generous, but not so generous, because otherwise it's not all going to create a nice uniform layer of brulee. You're gonna get like weird spots. Okay, so we'll just like put that on the next one, and then we'll do that this way. Waste not, want not, am I right? And then, so once you've done that, then you're gonna brulee. Now, if you do not have a blowtorch, then you can make a dry caramel. So you can just kind of put sugar in a pot and bring it to a light amber, and then you can pour that on top. Maybe let it cool just a second, and you can pour that on top and you'll get the same nice crack. But we have a brulee torch. And I like to kind of go evenly, right? And to go all around and kind of melt all the sugar, and then I bring it a little closer and I start to really brulee. If it's too light, you can add more sugar. If you add too much sugar though, then it won't all melt and you'll have like undissolved granules of sugar underneath your brulee. Okay. Et voila. You want to do your brulee right before you serve it. You don't want to brulee and then put them back in the fridge. Otherwise the caramel will get soft and you'll have like an upside down creme caramel situation, which will also be delicious, but it will not be a creme brulee. It's time to try. Oh man, oh man. Nice crispy caramel. Like dark caramel, and the smooth, luscious, silky creme brulee. Yes.